Welcome back, everybody. Over the past few months, I've been contacted by a number of companies about doing demonstration videos for their products, and I finally found one that I wanted to tackle. I realize we usually cover hand tools here, but personally I'm interested in all sorts of tools, including things like laser cutters, 3D printers, CNC machines, and so on. I think most tool people are curious about those things as well. And that's where this machine comes in. This is the Creality Falcon2 Pro. It's a 40-watt laser engraver laser cutter. I've been looking into laser cutters for a while now, and I really like the versatility they can bring to your shop, where you can custom make items on the spot. Whether it's for making gifts, personalizing items, making things to promote your business, making items to sell at an art show or online like Etsy, the list just keeps on going. The possibilities here are almost endless. Today we're going to cover a handful of things that this machine can actually do. We're going to look at engraving wood, anodized aluminum, and leather. Here's the Creality Falcon2 Pro, fully assembled. This model comes with the fully enclosed top that provides a few different features. One is it encloses the smoke and it has an exhaust port and fan on the back corner. The red tint on the top shields some of the laser light, and their kit also includes a set of tinted safety glasses. I like the amount of safety they've included here. One would be the enclosed top, of course, but the enclosed top doubles as a shutoff, so if this cover is open, the machine will not run. This model also features an emergency shutoff, so if something inside the machine is failing as the cut is in progress, you can just go ahead and hit the stop button, and then it just has a quick little turn release. The other feature I like is it has an on-off key. Mostly it would be making sure that my son and his friends don't use it while I'm away. This kit also comes with a 1.6 watt laser module that we will test out later in the video. As you can see to the right hand side, I do have my laptop out here. I believe this machine does require software to run it, although it does have a spot for a memory card. I'm not sure how it runs off a memory card, but we're going to go ahead and use the software called Lightburn that is widely recommended by many of the users of this model. There's definitely other softwares out there, and feel free to check them all out and see which one works best for you. Now, I have no intentions of trying to teach you how to use Lightburn because I myself have never used it before. There's a number of tutorials here on YouTube that can show you the basics of Lightburn. If you've used any other sort of design software in the past, it works much the same. I'm going to go ahead and do a screen record so it's easy to follow along. Alright, so one of the first things you want to do with any material is do a material test. That way it will show you how the laser cuts at different speeds and different power levels. And this will help you with your future settings as you work on different projects. I'm currently showing the operation in real time, but I'll speed up the video to save us some time. So on the bottom line, we have power from 10% to 100, and then on the left-hand side, we have speed from 600 to 15,000. This will give you an idea of what power and speed is needed to cut through your material. It will also give you an idea of the, line quality for an engraving. So this one right here looks pretty good, and that would be at 50% and about 8,300 millimeters per minute. All right, now that we have our material test run, it's time to start the first project, which I'm going to do an engraving. And of course, I'm going to start with my logo because I'm just interested to see how it looks. I want to do two different types of engraving. One is going to be a fill, which basically colors in the dark areas. The other one's going to be a trace, which is basically an outline. Now, I'm not going to show you how Lightburn works necessarily because I'm still learning, but I will show you at least what I'm doing on these steps. One of the features I really like about the Falcon 2 is that it has an overhead camera. So I'm going to go under the camera control. I'm going to go up and pick out the camera. I'm going to hit the update overlay. And now you'll actually see my material inside the laser printer. So one of the reasons why I like the camera option is because it allows you to arrange the items where you want them, and it makes sure you use the least amount of material. One more thing I'll say about the image is that I don't have the light turned on inside the machine, so the image may not look the best. If it had more light in the machine, it'd probably look better, but all I need to do is figure out where the outline is, and that way I know where to put the objects. Currently I don't have the machine on, but from here I just hit start, and it would start going to work. Right now you're watching the first engraving running in real time. I'll go ahead and speed up the video, but I noticed already that the engraving is much deeper into the plywood than I had intended. so I'll likely have to run this one again. It's not that the engraver is not doing a good job, it's just a matter of I had the settings wrong. This is my first run ever on this machine, and it's going to take a little bit to get it dialed in. So here's the result of the first engraving we sent through the machine. It did a great job. Like I said, I think it's deeper than it needs to be. I'm going to go ahead and rerun it at a lower power, faster speed. It's too deep, but that's my fault. It still did a great job. So there's some areas where the blonde wood is a little darker. That might come back if I hit it with a little sandpaper, but it'll probably also look better if I don't engrave it so deep. As far as the outline version goes, I think it turned out quite well. Line quality is very sharp. Image is very sharp. The engraving is just below the surface of the wood, which is right where I'd want it. The 40-watt module is not supposed to cut as fine as the 1.6. That being said, I think it still did a great job. I would be happy to use the 40-watt for a job like this. I believe I found the sweet spot here. It's just below the surface. You could catch a nail on the edge there. Has a good color. You might see some variations where the color goes dark to light in some areas. I think that's just the layers of wood. As it burns down through the thin layers of plywood, you start to get some color differences there. This was on a solid piece of wood. It may look different. This engraving was run at 12,000 millimeters per minute and a power of 40%. I purchased a few of these expandable wallets. You may have one, you may have seen them. They're getting pretty popular. This one has like an anodized aluminum finish. I figured it would be a really neat piece for engraving. You could put a business logo on them. You could personalize it with a name or whatever it may be, a message for a gift. Or you could customize them to sell them at some sort of art show. So let's try one of these. I will follow the same steps as I used in my first engraving. I've already loaded my material into the bed. I've decided to trace the image and use the outline version instead of the fill. I have it set at 600 millimeters per minute and a power of 60%. So I'll cut right to the chase. It was going along fine. The air assist hit this little hole here. It shifted the piece. This piece weighs almost nothing, so it failed. This is definitely not the machine's fault. For the next run, I will connect it back to the rest of the wallet. It'll have a lot more weight to it, and I'll also have these holes with the screws in, so it can actually blow air through the holes. This is the second attempt. Obviously the footage is sped up. This one also failed. Anytime you have a new piece of machinery, there's a learning curve. So obviously on the first one I didn't realize it would move the piece. This one looks pretty good, but if you look really close, the lines are wavy. Again, this is not the machine's fault. I had the speed set up too high. I had 6,000 instead of 600. So I'm going to run it again at 600 and see if that cleans up the line. Sorry for the focus here. It seems to be coming and going. Okay, third try. As you can see on this one, the lines are very crisp and clean as opposed to the one that ran so much faster. But this is just a small sample of what you can do with this machine. I picked these wallets up for like $5 a piece. You could personalize them for Christmas gifts, or like I said, business promotion, or just to sell at your art show, or whatever it may be. It's pretty cool. For the next engraving, I've switched over to the 1.6 watt module. Changing out the modules is extremely easy. It's basically one plug and a couple of thumb screws. It takes less than 2 minutes to change them out. The 1.6 watt will give you a much finer detail in your engravings. Of course, it only has 1.6 watts of power. So I did run it at 100%. I did try to run it sort of slow, but once I hit start, it said that the engraving was going to take like 7 hours. So I kept speeding it up until it got to be about 30 minutes. So if I did run it a little slower, the detail might be even a little bit better. Here we have the laser engraving results from the 1.6 watt module. As you can tell, it does a great job. Has a lot of fine detail, very good quality. You can even make out some of the letters on this side. That's impressive since the logo I used had two dark surfaces, so there really was very little contrast. The next challenge up for the 1.6 watt is a couple of leather key rings. I decided to do one fill and one outline. After looking at the one that had the fill, I decided to scrap it. The top of the leather was basically just charred, it was smearing, and it was something that I would not use. Of course, this is not the machine's fault, we're basically burning leather, so of course it's probably going to char. But we will take a look at the outline version. And I will say up front that I think if I would have slowed it down just a hair, the line quality would have been just a little better than it was. Although it was still very good. Very happy with the engraving on the leather keychain. I definitely think that the outline version is the way to go on this. The filled-in version was just basically charring the surface too much. I think it looks great. So here I've switched back to the 40-watt module because we're going to do some cutting. I wanted to give the machine a real challenge, something that had a lot of cuts, a lot of intricate cuts, small cuts, just something that was very detailed to see how well it would perform. I have to be honest, I was not disappointed. I have a friend that really likes sugar skull, so I thought if I'm going to test this, I might as well make something that I can give away. This particular cut had 6 different layers to it. Personally, I really like this look of this stacked artwork. I'm going to make a number of items probably for my own house. Not necessarily sugar skull, but just real intricate and ornate items. The intentions are to paint it, but I have to be honest with you, I think it looks pretty cool without any paint at all. But I'm going to paint it, that way I'll get to see what it looks like with and without paint. So I've got my 6 layers painted, spray painted. I'm going to go ahead and start the glue up. Never used this glue before. So there's 6 pieces total. I'm going to do 3 glue ups, and once those pairs of 2 are dry, I'll go ahead and glue up 3 pairs into the final 6 layers. I did decide to leave 1 bare wood because the color it wanted painted was a brown, so I'm figuring why not just leave it natural. I'm just keeping the top layer close by so I can sort of see where the overlap is. Some of the glue might show. This is first time, not worried about it being perfect. I'm going to try to get it close though. Not even sure this glue is going to hold up. It says to wet down the surface first, but I'm just going to go ahead and skip that step. If the glue doesn't work, I do have other glue, so we'll see what this one does first. I'll just give it some extra dry time before I mess with it. The top piece on the last one definitely had a bow in it, so I tried to line up the best I could. Of course, as you release pressure off of it, it wants to move a little bit. So that one may not be lined up as perfectly as it could be, but again, just trying to do the best I can on the first one. Might end up seeing a little bit of squeeze out on this one, but I'm thinking the glue is going to dry fairly clear. I guess we're going to see. Let's take a look at how it turned out. Now, if you recall, I said when it was just bare wood, like, oh, that looks really good already. But I'd have to say that this definitely looks awesome. So there's 6 layers in here. You can kind of see them if I turn it to the side. It's not lined up 100%, but I can't tell from looking at the front of it. Now to break this down, I paid $2.50 for the file, the cut file off of Etsy. I have about $5 in plywood. Of course, I don't count much of cut time because really I just hit the button and walk away. There is time to load it and put the image onto the plywood. I would say with the time I have setting up the cuts, the time I have painting and gluing, I maybe have 45 minutes stuck in this project. I just think it's a great piece. I think my friend's gonna love it. It really makes me want to do more. To think that just a few hours ago this was all just sheets of plywood is really crazy. I would like to thank Creality for sending me the Falcon 2 Pro. This is my first experience with a laser engraver. Overall, I'm impressed by this machine. I've only had it for a week, but I've had a ton of fun just seeing what it can do. And I know I've only scratched the surface of what's possible. Although I don't intend to make products to sell, I can definitely see where somebody could make a business using a machine like this, or add to their existing business. I'll definitely be using it for things like toolbox organization, making gifts for friends, personalizing different items. I've already thought about a few gifts that I want to make for my mom. That's going to be all for this one. Thank you for watching, and I will catch you on the next one.